Turning now to your community focus, the contract to demolish the westbound span of the Washington Bridge has been tentatively awarded, and the contract to build the new one is soon to follow. Joining me now to talk about that and much more is RIDOT Director Peter Alviti. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Very nice to be here with you.
So let's talk about the Washington Bridge some more.
Yes.
The contract that was awarded just last week, we've talked about how the cost of this project wouldn't really be known until these contracts were awarded.
We did, yes.
But were you surprised that the bids for the demolition of the bridge were 50% higher than what the state had estimated it would cost?
Well, a bit, but there are a number of factors, I think, that play into what could have been the increased cost. There's an abundance of work out there all throughout the region as a result of the federal government's funding of the Infrastructure and Jobs Act.
Okay.
So there's a lot of work out there, and contractors that have a lot of work tend to be a little higher on the projects that they're competing for. In addition, there's a high level of risk associated with this job. It's a complex structure, and it is an unstable structure that needs to be demolished in close proximity to another. So, and then there are other factors, regional factors, and the additional oversight and controversy that comes with this particular project that would tend to make contractors a little more conservative in their approach to the costing of it.
So should we expect the cost of the construction of the new bridge to also be much higher than the initial estimates?
Well, we'll be receiving those bids and those proposals beginning tomorrow. And at that time, we'll look to see what they say, and I have no predisposition as to what to expect.
We've talked about the forensic analysis before and the day of reckoning to hold people accountable for the problems that got us here in the first place. Now, the company that was chosen for the demolition, Aetna, had previously worked on the bridge and even received a letter from the firm that's putting this whole forensic analysis together. Can we be assured then, because Aetna was chosen for this project, that they won't be facing legal action from the state?
So there are a number of legal entities that inform DOTs like ourselves as to which companies are eligible and or debarred from participating in the bidding process on projects like this. As of the date of the award, even up until now, only one company has been debarred from doing business with the state of Rhode Island. That's Barletta. In their consent agreement between them and the Department of Justice on another project dispute, they self-imposed a debarment from doing business. Other than them, no federal, state, governmental agency that has purview over debarment of companies has informed us that any companies are debarred from that practice. So we're bound by law to keep the procurement process open to all companies.
And it sounds like things could potentially change down the road.
That if they change down the road. I'm not going to speculate right now as to what the outcomes of that is. Well, we'll let that play out and happen as it happens.
Max Wistow, one of the lawyers on this forensic team, told the Providence Journal last week that he hopes this forensic analysis is going to be done within a month, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be released to the public. Do you think and hope that the findings will be made public to the taxpayers of Rhode Island?
As quickly as we can see them at DOT, we'd like to be able to see them to have that inform our processes, not only in DOT, but in our conduct of business with contractors. So yes, we await them as eagerly as you do.
And you hope that the people of Rhode Island will be able to see those findings as well?
We do.
Rhode Island DOT Director Peter Alviti, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.